Agency in Motion continuing education series. Once again, this is a specific series designed for agents, producers, advisors, and agency builders in the financial services industry. And today, our topic of conversation is centered around teaching your clients to win. If you can get behind this idea of teaching your clients to win, not selling them products and services, but organizing strategies, and then within those strategies, the normal products and services that you sell. This is important because if you're helping teach your clients how to win, your book of business is going to win. If you're teaching your partners how to teach their clients how to win, your agency build out is going to start to win. So understand all of this is connected and tied together. You need to lead with customer obsession. You need to understand that, once again, it's not about the products that you sell. It's about the strategies that's incorporated around those products and services. And when you go into the open marketplace with solutions to real problems that your persona is having, it's a lot easier to go out there and get the appointments, get the meetings, get the lead generation, get everything that you need for your business. So once again, getting behind the customer or the client experience, being obsessed with the mission, and the mission of helping them win is nothing more than teaching them that the American dream is still alive and well. You need to understand two things about this. When you are helping someone map out a pathway to get to the American dream, which is different for all of us, it's about freedoms, right? But if you are talking to someone who is not able to grasp the concept of building a better tomorrow, if they're not believing that the American dream is still achievable, that's probably a disqualifier, because if you're teaching people how to win and that's your main mission point, then you need to understand from your perspective, you can only take somebody so far. If they don't have the mental capacity or the mindset to get to that desired end outcome, you need to stop wasting your time and their time on the front side. Because this is about designing a future they're ready for, they're excited for. It's about designing a future that's incorporating financial freedoms. And once again, financial freedom, you guys, in the most simplistic terms, is when your income from your passive assets can cover the standard of living, whatever that number is, X per month, whatever you got, the standard of living, whatever it is it takes to cover that. When your income from your passive assets can make and cover that, that's financial freedom. So everything that we want and everything that we're designing for these people is requiring them to understand, we're going to map it out and you're going to prepare to win. But if you constantly kick that can down the road and you're saying, hey, I'm not willing to take the next action steps to prepare, to create a plan of action and execute, you're allowing your prospects just to kick that preparation can down the road, then nothing's going to happen. They're going to drift, like so many other percentages of the population are, into those unknown outcomes. So part of what you're doing and part of your teaching people how to win is developing the pathway, developing the most shortest efficient route to get them to that end destination. But once that puzzle is kind of solved for free, so to speak, you are demanding action steps. So you have to prepare those people to understand what is required from their side to get to where they want to go. Because everything that we do and everything you do as an advisor or an agent is driven by math, whether it's getting rid of debt, whether it's accumulating wealth. Every financial goal, destination, whatever it is we're trying to accomplish on either side of the balance sheet, math is everything. So once people understand that everything that you want can be mapped out using math, it's a lot easier to get the right persona, behind this. They're able, willing, and wanting to do business with you. They have to act. And like I said, when you understand that you are producing a pathway, showing them the route, they have to, at some point, like I said, they can't continue to kick the preparation can down the road. They have to prepare, and then they have to act on that plan of action. Remember, everything that they want without a plan of action and execution is just a wish. You are teaching people how to win, and that's demanding at some point in the process or the cycle, they take action. If you understand that you're trying to help people win, if you understand you're trying to help create the American dream for people, you need to be excited. You need to believe in what you're doing. It's changing people's lives. It's creating better outcomes. You need to believe that what you're doing makes a difference. And if you do, then all of a sudden your mindset switches on how to market to people. Because if you can't promote your biz to everybody that you know, that you don't believe in it, and neither will anybody else. So once again, it's not getting behind a specific product. It's about getting behind a specific strategy to create an environment where people can win. That's what we're trying to do. And that's what we try to do in the marketplace. Get the word out. This is how you get ahead, because there's so much going on and people have so much information coming at them from every kind of angle these days. They're shutting down. They're uncertain. They're operating from a fixed mindset. They've got the wrong data. So what you do is you get the word out on how to get ahead, on how to win. And part of that process is helping them adopt a growth mindset, replace that bad information with good information so they can make the right decisions based off the right information. You need to stop selling products and start interviewing people. Find out what people want. Find out what that end destination, what winning means to them, what the American dream means to them. Because once you start interviewing people, we talk about this time and time and time again, you get them talking. And once they start to talk, they're going to give you the information that you want that uncovers something, mostly a problem that they're having, where now you can interject yourself in the conversation at the right point with the right type of solution and action step. Part of understanding how to interview is grouping people and seeing, hey, does any of this stuff ring true for you? So, you are whatever your company, brand, organization, however you're representing yourself. This is a type of, whatever it is that you're doing that helps clients. What's the key objective? What are most people in your persona right now, dealing with? What are they trying to accomplish? What's the key objective? And right now we're seeing a lot of clients in your situation, industry, location, however you're tying your persona together, frustrated by rising inflation, struggling with rising interest rates, finally just worried about, the condition of the stock market, those type of things that are normal things that people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis inside your persona. If you lay those out and then ask, do any of these issues ring true to you? It gives them an opportunity to identify which one. And then what does that do? It gets them talking, because you're not just going to stop it. You're going to, ask for more. Tell me more about that. How is that making you feel? What's it holding you up from accomplishing? So understand, once you group a persona, typical frustrations, struggles, or worries, asking if any of those ring true to you is an easy way to get a conversation going. People love to talk about themselves if you invite them to do so. And really, you guys, winning is just about helping somebody understand, where are they now? Where is it they're trying to get to? How are they going to get there? What are they willing to do to get there? And then finally, how do you fit in the plan, if at all? Are you the right person to help them, get to that end destination? So if something's missing here, if they don't know where they want to go, they don't know how to get there, something's missing from this overall plan that you can't help them with. Once again, number two, where do they want to go? If somebody doesn't know what they want to, where they're trying to go, if they don't have any financial goals or destinations, they don't need your help to get nowhere. So you have to understand the 5 points. And part of what you're doing in the interviewing processing is helping people understand some things that will be problematic, and then you can bring solutions to, or more importantly, disqualifying on the front side. Because if you can disqualify, you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting their time. You can spend that time that you're not wasting over here with somebody who's actually qualified in your persona. You have to make sure that you understand, if you're going to help somebody win, you have to identify the sickness in order to be able to, kind of introduce the cure. There's a financial sickness in this country, and it comes from a lot of variable reasons that we talk about. But you need to understand, when you're talking to your persona, identify the sickness to introduce the cure. Identify the problem to introduce the solution. Don't just try to cram stuff down people's throat. Help them understand why you're bringing it to the table as part of the overall strategy. People are being held back. And so part of what we do on the front side is identify what is holding you back. And most of the time in the financial services industry, it's things like debt. So once we identify what's holding them back, we can start to put the puzzle pieces together to help them identify, How do you get where you're wanting to go? How do you get these desired end outcomes? What's the process? What's the path? How do I fit in as an advisor? And what are they willing to do to take the next action steps to get there? Remember, wanting to go somewhere, being interested in going there is one thing. Being committed to the process of getting there is something totally different. You're looking to work with people, teaching them to win, that are committed to that actual process. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of questions out there. So your basic job is to help people understand how to take this confusing environment where there's a lot of questions, uncertainty, and how to draw, like I said, the most shortest linear equation or line to get them to the desired endpoint, whether that's eliminating debt, building wealth. Once we understand there's pathways that include math, then all we have to do is position ourselves. If we're helping somebody win, once again, there's a lot of information flying from every angle these days. For every problem out there, there are solutions. Then there's the obvious solution. If you want to teach somebody to win, you have to position yourself as the obvious solution, an advisor that's going to help them get there and actually, see throughout the process. In conversations, you need to help them understand that you don't work with everybody. Who do you work with? Who do you not work with, and why? If you're going to teach people to win, you need to understand that there's going to be a commitment from both sides. So you need to disqualify and pre-qualify, not just in the beginning, but several times during the process, to make sure at each one of those points that you're still talking to the right person, and they're still talking to you as the right person who can help them. Remember, there's one big thing, there's one big solution. There's a lot of solutions. You want to be the solution. So the method you use to help people reach their goals, people have to believe that your method will work for them. Otherwise, they're not going to be interested in committing with you, taking the next action step. Once people believe that your method will work for them, they'll pursue the means to implement that method. This is very, very important. Once they believe that you're the right person and you've got the right strategy and method, they're going to buy into it. And then on the front side, once again, outside of disqualifying, if you want to help teach people how to win, which should be a major mission and objective, you've got to position yourself as the expert. So you got to remove any objections or roadblocks that prevent those people in your persona from believing that one big thing. So that incorporates preemptively going in and identifying typical what we call false beliefs. So what are the false beliefs that people have that make them think they can achieve their goal with the method that you teach? Once you've removed all those objections, many of them preemptively, that one big thing still must be true, and they're ready to take the next action step with you. They're in control, guys. Once again, you are asking them to do things because you can lead them to an end destination they actually desire. But along the way, they're still driving the car. They're still in control. The choices that they make starting right now, sitting down with you, whether it's in person or virtually, are going to have a direct impact on whether they reach their goals or whether they don't, whether they win or whether they don't. Because procrastination is a dream killer. And you have to understand how, especially in the financial services industry, how to cut through that procrastination to get them to act now. Because if they act later, there's a price to pay. And the goal, the dream, and the ability to win becomes the actual price at a certain point. They are shedding dollars every single day. Most people in this country have no idea about how money works. They have no idea, they're not financially literate. They weren't taught how money works. They're going through and operating from bad information, a fixed mindset. We talk about this all the time. So you have to be able to identify the sickness in order to introduce the cure. You have to identify the problem in order to introduce the solution. The solution is very simple. Do they want to continue burning through their money, or do they want to take a stand and learn how to take a 180-degree opposite approach, which is accumulate, stack money, create wealth, learn arbitrage, offset, all of these things that we teach, because once again, they have the choice of action. They can continue down that same route and be the financial institution's best client by being a sucker, or they can take the fork in the road, take an alternate route that puts them at the head of the table. And like I said, creates an environment where they can win. That win incorporates freedoms and, once again, the American dream. You can't have it both ways, right? And this is something that you have to talk about. If you want to win, it takes some preparation. It takes a plan of action. It takes execution. If you want to win and you're not willing to do those things, well, you have to understand that there's going to be a sacrifice, and your dreams are going to be the sacrifice. So once we show you the way that you need to take, you got to take it. And that's the commitment. That's interest versus commitment. Inside your persona, you want to be demanding commitment because of what you're bringing to the table as well. They can't have it both ways. And then we need to also identify, if we're going to win, if we're going to take an alternate route to create a winning environment, we have to stop doing what doesn't work. And once again, in order to, usher in and introduce the solution, we have to uncover the problem. Same thing here. You have to identify what's not working in order to ask them to stop doing what's not working. They have to change their mindset around earning and spending. And that's one of the biggest things. Money is a mindset. So they change their mindset, replace that bad data with good data. They start learning how money works. They can take some new action steps and get to a new outcome. So the first thing that we want them to identify is, hey, you've been systematically set up to basically be a sucker. You need to make sure you identify why it's systematically stacked against you and how to reverse that cycle. That starts with changing your mindset around earning and spending. And then you also need to look at money as a growth engine to make more money. Regardless of how they earn their money, part of what you're doing is helping them identify the different blocks of a financial plan. And it's not just about taking money out of their pocket. It's about helping actually identify other ways to put additional money in their pocket. Cash flow is king, right? So you have to make sure when you're speaking to people, they understand the importance of cash flow and how to build cash flow and what it takes, regardless of if it's going to be additional wages, if it's going to be investment income, business, whatever it might be. How are we going to produce cash flow? Because if you don't find ways to make money while you sleep, Warren Buffett says best, you're going to work until you die. Part of helping people understand and identify how to win, how to achieve that independence, the financial freedom, the American dream, is also helping them understand the different types of debts and assets. So many people live here, just a total consumption. Other people spend their money on depreciating assets. You need to make sure people understand this is not going to help them win. Stacking appreciating assets are more specifically cash flow assets. Why cash flow assets? Because if you're going to hold an asset, you might as well get paid to hold it. An appreciating asset just means at some point in the future, when you're ready to sell that asset, you're hoping somebody pays more than you did for it when you bought it. But the cash flow asset actually holds or pays you to hold that asset. So this is how, we create cash flow, by identifying the different types of debt and assets and helping them understand where to concentrate on, why, and how that's going to help them win. We're not trying to live beyond our means. We're trying to expand beyond our means. And we do that with assets. So a big part of winning is accumulating assets. A big part of the reason why people can't accumulate assets is because they're being robbed by the system with stuff like debt servicing obligations. So this is a whole process about how to win. They need to expand beyond their means. That means, once again, creating income producing assets to grow their wealth. We don't want to have active income for a whole life. And if somebody tells you they're just going to work for their entire life, guess what? That's not up to them. The company they work for can let them go. They can have a medical event that causes them unable to work. So once again, it's not always up to us. The more we plan for an unknown future and have all of those things kind of covered, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, the more control and the more peace of mind we create, which is inside that winning structured environment. List of producing assets, real estate, REITs, CDs, rental properties, dividend paying stocks, lending. So all of these things, they need to understand, the transition over in assets into passive income. How do we get that going? How do we do it? And then how do we create the most linear, shortest equation to get us to that pathway where we can be financially free? Because money flows freely to me. If so, then you're in a good position. That's without active income. If you're looking at the other side and without active income, money's not flowing freely to you, or it's basically little to non-existent, that's a problem, because part of winning is helping people identify you are your assets. Somebody ends up working, it should be the assets. And once again, if your prospect is telling you it's going to be them, A, it's probably a disqualifier, but B, it's not always up to them, like we just discussed. So teaching people how to win is also teaching them the other side. If they're not willing to commit, if they're not willing to create a plan of action execution with your help, then the high cost of waiting is going to create a situation where you're in with the masses in this country, where you're drifting into unknown outcomes. You're probably going to be heavily reliant on Social Security, which may not be there at all, definitely not in this form. You need to count on yourself. And procrastination and all these obstacles from a fixed mindset, not knowing how money works, is not allowing somebody to win. So our job is to show them the pathway to win, and then demand they commit with us to actually winning. Arbitrage. Remember, you cannot create a winning environment from bad information. Arbitrage, typically, we're not in arbitrage, we're being used by arbitrage, meaning that usually banks take our money, pay us little to nothing, and put it back on the street. Once again, if you can learn how to, on the front side, eliminate the bank's profit on a lot of the debt, the backside take their position in things like arbitrage, guess what? The ability to create that winning environment now has multiple ways. It's multiple lanes leading into the same desired end outcome. And that allows a velocity or a quickness or a speed to that win. Money makes money. And this is arbitrage, guys, whether it's real estate, investment, business. Once you know how money works, and once you understand how money makes money and how the financial institutions have systematically stacked this against you, you reverse the cycle and then actually take their position. So once again, how does your client win? That's what you're laying out, because once you identify how somebody wins, and then you identify how to get their money right, because remember, winning for everybody is not always just financially based. They have other stuff they want to accomplish, but the financial part of winning is going to allow them to get to those other, doors they want to open in their life. So how do they win? How do they get their money right? Your job is to show them this is how you do it. And once you've done that in a clear, concise, articulate way that makes sense, that's not convoluted or confusing for them, what are you going to do? And that's important, because once you've led them to that end destination, once you've created that pathway, it is so, so important that you get the commitment, because you're willing to work with them. They have to meet you halfway. Because if they don't, remember, it's their responsibility. Their finances are 100% up to them. So take responsibility for your finances, or get used to taking orders for the rest of your life. You're either a master of your money or a slave to it. It's ultimately their choice. Your job is to help, but it's ultimately their choice. And then money is always a scoreboard. You can rank. So at any given time, remember where they are in their life. They have been doing it on their own up to this point. How's that working out for them? If it's not working out for them, show them the alternate way. Show them what they need to do. And then once again, you have to have commitment over interest from your prospect. Money is part of life, guys. Money is choices. Money's a mental game. So in the process of teaching people how to win, yes, there's strategies, there's products and services, but there's also a psychological aspect to this, which is helping them understand, your views of money, your understanding about money is probably not correct. And that's leading you into decisions that are not correct because it's based on bad information. There's three keys here, really, if somebody wants to win. One is consistency, one is cash flow, and one is execution. Consistency, cash flow, and execution. That's how somebody wins in the financial game. So you really need to, develop a persona, teach that persona how to win, and then lead them, like I said, to a certain point where it's time to choose. You're going to stay on this side with your bad strategies that have led you up to this point, or you're going to take a fork in the road to the good strategies that are actually going to, with my help, lead you to a desired end outcome that not only that you want, but you're excited about, that you can feel with emotion along the way. I'm going to help you. How much of the percentage of the goal have we achieved? How are we going to get there? Once again, not just throwing products and services in front of somebody's face and disappearing, but creating client relationships. And when you do that, you're going to find that your sales go up, your agency grows, your referrals start to really mount up, and everything that you're looking for in the business and in the industry, you'll get by helping teach people how to win. Agency in Motion, continuing education series on how to build, operate, and manage agencies in the 21st century.